Hey, what's up you guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you don't know who I am already, my name is Katrina. This is my second video and it is the story of how I became 17 and pregnant. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and hit that bell notification if you want to see it every time I upload a video every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Also, don't forget to hit that like button. Yeah. And let's get started with the story. So this is my daughter Harper. She's only 7 weeks old. Say hi, Harper. Say hello, YouTube. Hello. She does not care. She just wants to look outside. So I guess I'll hold her like this. I got pregnant at the age of 17, and based on what doctors told me, I must have gotten pregnant at the end of September. So to really kind of begin this story, I guess, let's talk about birth control. So I was on birth control, but I was kind of stupid. I didn't take it at the same time every day, and sometimes I'd forget about it, and then I thought, oh, I must have taken it. I had to have taken it. I wasn't thinking. I've never got pregnant before. I just honestly, for the longest time, I just assumed that I couldn't get pregnant. I thought there was something wrong with me. I wasn't trying to get pregnant, but it never happened. So when this happened, I was in total shock. I shouldn't have been shocked. I was literally throwing up every single day, constantly, for 3 freaking months. You think I would have taken a pregnancy test sooner, right? No. So I was really sick. I got really bad morning sickness, and I went to the doctor and I was like, hey, what is wrong with me? I'm so nauseous. I'm throwing up all the time. I have a fever. I don't feel good. Can you tell me what's wrong? And they told me I had the flu. That was in the beginning of October, and I was still every day throwing up. So since they told me I had the flu, I didn't know that I was pregnant, and it was stupid for me not to assume that I was pregnant. So I would still smoke daily, weed. I don't like alcohol very much, so I didn't drink, except for October 31st, I went to a Halloween party with my boyfriend and a few of his friends. Right after my 18th birthday, which is November 10th, I took the pregnancy test at 3 o'clock in the morning because I was just it's impossible. There's absolutely no way that I've had the flu for this long. I'm so nauseous, I have to be pregnant. For the 3 months that I was super nauseous and was having morning sickness, which, let me tell you girls, it is not in the morning. It is whenever it wants to come. Some people, when they're pregnant, they have really bad morning sickness, or they don't have any morning sickness, or they don't have morning sickness until their 3rd trimester. Who knows? Some people have it, some people don't. Whatever. I took the pregnancy testing and I immediately called my friend Tatum, and I was like, dude, I'm pregnant. I took 3 pregnancy tests. All of them say positive. What am I gonna do? And I just start bawling my eyes out. I am so upset. I'm I only just turned 18. My entire life is ruined. How am I gonna tell my mom? How am I gonna tell Aaron? How am I gonna tell all of these people? They're gonna be so disappointed in me. And by the end of our conversation, I was kind of just I have to tell my mom right now, or I'm not gonna tell her until it's too late. So my happy ass went to my mom's room, opened the door. It's Mom, are you awake? Mom, can you come here, please? And she came out, and I was I can't tell you this by explaining it. I have to tell you, or I'm never gonna tell you. Mom, I am pregnant. She goes, I know. I've known for a couple months. You think I'm stupid? I know. So I was bawling and I was apologizing, and I'm I hope you're not mad at me. I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have been so stupid. She's I'm not mad at you. We'll figure out what to do. We'll make you a doctor's appointment. It is okay. So she wasn't mad at me, but she was disappointed. I asked her not to tell anybody. I kind of wanted to keep it a secret. So I think a couple days later, I told my sister, totally should have been paying attention to what I was saying to you guys. I didn't explain my sister's reaction, so she was sad but happy for me at the same time, and she was wondering what we were going to do. She was talking about my options with me, and at this time I hadn't told Erin yet. So she was like, if you guys consider adoption, like, please consider me and her boyfriend. And we like had a really long talk about it, and she was, like I said, really sad but also like really happy. She was like, yay, like, I'm gonna be an aunt, like, if you guys keep it. Like, I think the next day I was avoiding my boyfriend, her dad, and I was kind of just like, oh my god, like, I have to tell him. I can't keep this from him. Like, it's 100% her dad. Like, we had been dating since February that year. I got pregnant in September. So it's not like we were dating for a really long time, but longer than, you know, I don't know. We had done a lot of things in a short period of time. We were already saying I love you. Like, we had gone on family vacations. We spent every day together. I pretty much, so I was spending the night at his house every night. We were spending every day together, and I was just at my house, and I was doing online school. I was kind of avoiding him, and I was like, you know what? I have to tell him. So he came, and this is, I don't know if I had my license yet. I honestly don't think I did. Had him pick me up, and we were literally like 10 minutes from his house, and he lives about 30 minutes away. I was like, I have to tell you something. Like, it's really important. Don't be mad at me. And I said, I'm pregnant. I've thought about this. Like, I took a test last night. Oh, bless you. Bless you. Hey, so I'm pretty sure my phone died when I was talking about, like, Erin's reaction to me telling him that I was pregnant. So I just wanted to come on here and, like, tell you guys what happened. So pretty much the gist of it, we were both sobbing, and we were talking about our options, and at this time, like, I didn't know how far I was along, which my doctor's appointment, like 2 days later, they told me I was 13 weeks, and so we only had two options. We had adoption and keeping her, and I do talk about abortion in this next clip just because we did not know how far along I was when I first told him. So if you're sensitive to that, just skip about 45 seconds. He was kind of angry, but he wasn't like being rude or anything, but I could tell that he was mad about it. We were both just like really sad about it because our life is going to change forever. So yeah. Honestly, if you are someone who gets pregnant and you need to get an abortion, I am totally for it. Like, if you can literally not take care of your child, if you are in an awful situation and you just, or honestly, you just don't want to have a kid and you want to have an abortion, like, that is you. That is what you choose to do, and that is totally okay because it is your decision. I would absolutely hate myself if I was to kill my child. So I was like, no, like, I'm not getting an abortion. And quite honestly, I'm also that person who, if I was to give our kid up for adoption, I would wonder where that kid is the rest of my life. So I'm not gonna do that either. We kind of argued about it. We're both young. Like, he was 20, I was 18, had just turned 18, and we were both scared. And so I understood where he was coming from. And for a really long time, he was scared. I'm sure even having her, he's still scared that something could happen to her or anything, or we would lose our money. Like, it's a constant thing where once you become a parent, everything changes and everything goes to, like, oh my gosh, I have a kid, this is the person I need to provide for. It's like total parent mode. And he was doing basketball at the time for the college he was going to, and he was going to school, and so it took him a couple of days, and he goes, I need to stop doing basketball. Like, I need to go to work. And I can't tell you how awful I felt when he said that. because basketball is his life. It's the one thing that's kept him motivated through literally everything in his life, and he's been through hell and back. So it's a really important thing to him. What? Basketball is a super important thing to him, and I didn't want him to give that up, even if it was for Harper. After he decided to go back to work, so he's like working outside every day, which is awful. He comes home exhausted. Yeah, Daddy comes home exhausted every day, huh? Yeah, because it's really hot outside where we live. After I told him and he was like, honestly, I know it's going to be your decision no matter what I want. Which I didn't want him to feel that way, but he was right. Like, I didn't want to kill our kid and I didn't want to give it up for adoption. So we are keeping it, made that decision on the spot, like, boom, keeping it. Christmas goes by. One sister knows, one sister doesn't. Some of my family knows. I think just a few that my mom had told, and I was going to tell my sister. Actually, I don't think any of my family knew yet, except for my mom, her fiance, my boyfriend, and his parents, and then my sister. So my oldest sister, she lives about 2.5 hours away from us, and she was coming for Christmas, and so I was like, you know what, like, I have to tell her on Christmas. I'm going to tell her on Christmas. So Christmas comes, I'm going to my dad's cabin for Christmas, and I am sick as heck in the car ride over there. So I am on my way to Christmas at the cabin, knowing that I'm pregnant. I actually stayed the night there before, and I thought this was really funny. He goes, have you gotten skinnier? So I was there. He's like, you look skinnier. Have you lost weight? And I thought that was so funny. I was like dying inside. I was like, yeah, I think so. I think I have gotten skinnier. We're on our way to the cabin Christmas morning, and my nausea is so bad. Like, I'm not saying anything. I'm not gonna tell him. I'm like, I can't tell him yet. Like, Christmas? No. I can't tell him on Christmas. Yeah, baby. So I'm like, no, I can't tell him on Christmas. Like, that's too much, you know? Like, we're going to see the whole family. I am not gonna do that. The next day comes, and I'm with my mom and her fiance, and then I'm with my sisters and my sister's boyfriends. I'm with my boyfriend, and my mom's fiance's son and his kid, and I'm like, okay, I gotta tell Monique now. So Erin and I are acting super weird according to her. So after I told her, she had told me that she was like, okay, well, like, now I understand why you guys were acting so weird. But I ended up not telling her because I couldn't find a moment alone with her. Like, I could not figure out a time to tell her, and it was just stressing me out. So, like, probably, I want to say, maybe a week after Christmas, I call her, and I'm like, dude, I have to tell you something. Like, so I called her, and it went to voicemail, and I guess I worried her because of the voicemail. I was like, I have to tell you something, like, it's really kind of bad. I was gonna tell you on Christmas, but I really couldn't, so please call me back. And she called me back, and she goes, are you dying? Are you dying? Like, what's wrong? Are you dying? And I'm like, I'm pregnant. And I was gonna tell you on Christmas, but I just couldn't find a time, and I was really scared, and I'm so sorry. Don't be disappointed in me. And let me tell you, she starts crying. She's crying. And I'm like, oh my God, is she really that upset with me? Like, she's that sister who's like, she's the one who always gives you, not motivational talks, but I'm your freaking mom, and I'm gonna tell you wrong from right. She's that kind of person. I love her to death, but she's always been the person who's like, you fucked up. So she's crying, and I'm like, oh my God, what did I do? Like, why did I tell her? And she's like, I'm so happy for you. I'm gonna be an aunt. And she tells her boyfriend, just have a good conversation about it. And she's like, did you tell your dad yet? So Doug is not my real dad, but I consider him my real dad because he's the one who raised me. But I will have a story time about my real dad and why he's not in my life. I was like, no, I haven't told him. Like, I'm really scared to tell him. I don't know how he's gonna think. And I'm like his little girl. I'm the youngest, so I'm like, he's gonna be really disappointed in me, and I'm just extremely scared to tell him. I don't know, like my nausea wears off and I'm doing good. I've been trying to meet up with my dad for a little while to like talk to him about it, and like both of our schedules are clashing. Like I'm not able to go down there, he's not able to come up here just because of his line of work. So eventually we find a time and I go over to his house and I'm scared. Like I'm wearing a big coat because I'm starting to show. Well, like we go through our day and we're taking the dogs out. And I actually brought my dog with. The doggies were bonding, they were meeting. I'm like, so I have to tell you something and I don't want you to be mad at me. And it's really important. And then I'm like, I'm pregnant I'm this many months pregnant. I'm sorry I didn't tell you. Like I didn't know for quite a while when I first was pregnant. Like they told me I had the flu. They didn't even do a pregnancy test on me. They just assumed it was the flu, which is a part that I forgot to mention earlier. And surprisingly, like, oh, whoa. To my surprise, he was not mad, which was actually quite shocking to me. I thought he'd be really mad at me, and I'm really thankful that he wasn't. But I was like, you know what? Like, you're gonna be a grandpa. I don't know if you're realizing that yet. You're gonna be a grandpa. Congratulations! I still don't think it's synced in that he's a grandpa. But yeah, so after I told him, I was like, you know what, let's tell the whole family. So honestly, my mom ended up telling all my grandparents on her side, and my dad told my grandparents on his side. I had a couple jobs while pregnant, but they honestly didn't work out. My whole entire family was super, super supportive. I don't think I had one person necessarily be mad. But this whole entire time, like, I'm keeping my pregnancy, like, private from everybody I went to school with. There's one person that I told, and her name is Lauren. I told her, and I was like, please don't tell anybody that you know that I'm pregnant. Like, anybody asks you anything, just be like, no, she just didn't. Like, she's just not at school. So I didn't leave high school because I got pregnant. I left for drama reasons.
I really didn't explain it. To elaborate more on the drama reasons thing, quite honestly, a lot of you watching this that live near me or went to the same school that I did are complete drama starters, and I really don't want beef. I think that's fucking stupid. I don't care. Like, I'm over it. Like, whatever. I'm gonna do another story time on really why I left the high school. I just didn't want all of you all up in my business, because since the day that I got to the high school, my freshman year, almost every one of you hated me and treated me like absolute garbage. So why would I want to tell a whole bunch of people that didn't care about me, that only wanted to talk shit about me, that I was pregnant? What is the point of that? That is why I hid it from you guys. And a lot of you guys responded well, but there's also pictures of me being pregnant on my Instagram account that have over like 50 sends. And I know for a fact that some of them are people being nice and just sending them to other people like, oh my gosh, like she's pregnant, like wow, good for her, you know? But then I know that there's those other people, and you know who you are, who sent my picture to someone else talking shit. I heard that there was a group chat with certain people, again, you know who you are, that had this photo of me, which I posted it on my social media, like whatever, But you guys were literally sitting there in a group chat talking shit about the fact that I'm pregnant. Who fucking cares? It's my fucking life. I'm sorry I'm swearing, but it is my life. If you really want to go throughout your day and talk shit about someone because of their life decisions and the thing that happened to them, that is your choice. But it's stupid and it's childish, and y'all need to grow the F up because it's actually ridiculous. Sorry for the rant, but you guys have not been very nice to me. There are a very, very small few of you that have treated me well. And you didn't always treat me well. But I'm a very forgive and forget person. And I just continue to forgive and forget. But there's also those people who never did me wrong. And there's literally only like 2 or 3 of you maybe that didn't do me wrong. And you know who you are. So thank you for that. Grow the heck up. Y'all are old enough to... I don't need to be telling you this. Stop talking shit about people. Stop talking shit about their life choices, about their decisions, about whatever they want to do. Literally, it is not your life. It should not be your business. It was my choice to keep it from you guys, and it was my choice to show you guys for the reason that I just wanted to post about it. I was so excited, and I'm so thankful that I have my daughter, and I don't care. I literally don't care. Like, I sound like I care, but I don't. Like, y'all want to talk shit, treat people like shit, whatever. That's on you, and you will grow up to be lonely and miserable because you don't know what to do with your life other than to talk shit about people. And once all that drama stops, once everybody else stops caring, that's when you will no longer have any friends. Sorry.
And like, story time. But like, I didn't want anybody to know. So I told her, obviously Tatum, and then a couple people that I was working with. Aaron had told his whole family and the people that he works with. Now, those people didn't say, from what I understand, didn't say anything to anybody. I had nobody messaging me except for one person. I didn't have anybody but one person message me and asking if I was pregnant. But Lauren was telling me like every other day that people were asking her if I was pregnant and if that's why I left. Because everybody just assumes I wasn't going to the school anymore because I was pregnant, but knew I was still, like in our town. So my gender reveal, it was snowing outside, and my mom held 2 balloons above us. So they put both blue powder and pink powder inside these 2 balloons. And my mom knew which one was which because one was smaller than the other. Boom. It's a girl. Pink powder is dropping all over us. I really wanted a girl, so thank God. Thank God. I really, really wanted a girl. And the first day I knew I was pregnant, I was sitting there thinking of names for both girls and guys, but I definitely had a lot more girl names. Let me tell you that. So after my gender reveal, probably about a week later, I was like, Aaron, do you care if I post on social media that I'm pregnant? Like, I knew he wouldn't care, but I just kind of wanted to tell him. So I posted on social media. And by this time, I think I was like 6 or 7 months pregnant. So I literally hid my pregnancy from all of these people for about 7 months. And I posted it. I was like, God, what was my caption? It was like, welcoming to the world our little baby girl on June 14th, 2019. So, people were really supportive about it, which, thank you for being supportive, but still, you were bullies, so yeah. Life went on. I was posting belly pictures. I was super happy, like, oh my gosh, heartburn. Heartburn was so bad. It was awful. my heartburn was so bad. Like every single night, like I could only lay on my left side, which you're supposed to because you get the most nutrients for your baby laying on the left side. But it was terrible. Like right in the middle of my second trimester, I think is when I stopped having morning sickness and just had the worst heartburn of my life. I literally had never had heartburn before I got pregnant. So that was really awful. But other than that, like, I had a great pregnancy. I was super happy about it. I documented everything. I was talking to people about it. But yeah, so after I told everyone, it was kind of just like a regular pregnancy. Like, I was going about my business. And then my grandpa got sick. And he was sick for a while. So I am 35 weeks pregnant. 35 weeks and 2 days. And I fly to Texas to see him. And the day that I come back is the day before I turn 36 weeks, which is when planes regularly don't let pregnant women fly. But I was flying Alaska and nobody asked me anything. Like, I had a doctor's note, but nobody asked me anything. So I fly to Florida and with my sisters. My mom's already there. And I was kind of upset about my mom going to Florida because I didn't want her to miss me giving birth if Harper was early. So I said, Florida, huh? Texas. So we're in Texas. I was mad about her going to Texas. I always say Florida. Aaron gets so mad. He's like, why do you always say Florida? You didn't go to Florida. You went to Texas. But so I go to Texas and I see him. And the last day, like, this was the first time he had seen me pregnant. They lived in Florida and Colorado and just had bought that house in Texas. My grandpa was an amazing guy. He was the president of Young Life for, I believe, 22 years. And he did a lot for them. And he was very spiritual. And he was just all around the best person I have ever met. And I'm so sad that he's gone. I'm sorry that I'm getting emotional. But he was a really great guy. So I fly to Texas and I see him. And the day that we see him is the last day that he's like actually talking. So I go and I spend about 30 to 45 minutes in there talking to him, but he's exhausted because of how sick he is. He's so exhausted. And so you can't really talk to him for a long time because of that. So we were talking about my baby and whoa! We were talking about like when I'm due and stuff like that, and he was just really happy for me. And honestly, because he's spiritual and a Christian, I thought that he would be really mad at me, and he either wasn't or he just hid it very well. I mean, he can't really be mad because he knew that he was gonna go. So he decided not to leave with a grudge. So I'm talking to him and we're having a really good conversation. I'm one of those people who, if I don't want to cry, except for right now, because it's really hard to talk about it still. If I don't want to cry, I'm not like, or if I don't want somebody to see that I'm upset, I won't let them see. And I knew that it was best that he didn't know how upset I was about his passing and that he was so sick. So the next day we go back to their house and we're staying in a hotel, and so we go back to their house and he's no longer very responsive. He's saying that he needs to go to the bathroom and that he needs water, and that's really all he's saying, and that he's tired. And my mom told me that she had a conversation with him for about an hour and a half, and he didn't respond to any of it, except for when he said, we didn't have a name for her yet. If you meet Katrina's little baby before we do, tell her that we're really excited to meet her. Like, everybody's waiting for her. And he smiled. And that's the only thing that he reacted to while my mom was talking to him for that whole conversation. So that night, I texted Aaron and I said, can we have our baby's middle name be Denise? Because his name was Dennis. And I explained why and what happened, and he was like, absolutely, like, that's beautiful. I would love that. And the next day, I was gonna go tell him in the morning, and by the time we got to the house, he was gone. Which I was really, really upset about. I didn't tell anybody because it was gonna be, something for him, and I didn't want to make my grandma more sad because she's a really strong woman, and she didn't want anybody to see how sad she was, and I didn't want to make her cry more because I'm not that kind of person. I hate making people sad, even if they're happy tears. I knew that she was going through a lot, and I wanted to wait to tell her. So I believe about a week goes by, and his service comes, and we're already back here. His funeral is in Anacortes, Washington, because that's where he grew up, and his service was in Seattle. For his service, there was like 500 people there. It was live streamed across the world because they were live streaming it in all the Young Life houses, or whatever you would call them. So everybody got to see, and it was beautiful. I was crying the entire time, and I was so emotional, and it was a big part of it was the fact that I was pregnant, but also the fact that this guy that I had been looking up to my entire life was gone, and people were speaking so highly of him, and it was beautiful and sad, but in the end it was pretty great. So the day after we come back from his service, so I'm back home. I sleep at my boyfriend's house, and the next morning, my water breaks, and I am in labor, active labor, for 14 hours, and then we have Harper. And I will make another video talking about my labor experience. That will probably be the next video, but for now, this is a super, super long video, and I'm really sorry, but I just wanted to make this video to talk about how my pregnancy was for the people that don't know. Holy crap. Milk spillage, do you see that? Yeah, my boobs exploded. So, yeah, I hope you guys like this video. Also, don't forget to follow all my social medias. I will have them linked below. But also, just remember, if you are pregnant, don't hide it from your family. They need to know sooner than later, before it's too late. For any young girl who's pregnant right now, please don't forget that my DMs are always open, and I will always be here to give you advice. And I know that I am a new mom. Like, Harper's only 7 weeks old. But I feel like I know quite a bit already. Like, when you have a baby, it is immediate. For a lot of people. For a lot of people, it's also not. But I am here. I will help you. I will give you my tips and tricks. And I will be here to talk to you. Thank you for watching. Once again, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and hit that notification bell if you want to see every time I upload, which I'm planning on doing every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Hopefully, with a 7-week-old, it's going to be a little hard. So please, don't get mad at me. But yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day or night, wherever you are. Thanks for watching.